Generations have passed and said that slavery is dead. But globalization is still in my head, and I must confess, commodities have let ignorance spread, making me forget that because of it, thousands of people are found dead every day. Even now, Salvadorian girls choose hunger over the sex trade. They choose starving to death over going to bed with a strange man. Like an exotic bird whose feathers have been plucked, they cut off their hair to resemble boys because they know they are just toys. Pawns of a capitalistic system whose existence is oblivious to the sex-craved men that buy them. They hunt them like cattle, packing them in trucks, trading them for a few bucks. Even now, Filipino women go blind building computers that poems like this are written on. Hands manufacture computer disks while others on the street sell chiclets to fill a sore stomach from too much complaining. Too much explaining their situation to lazy journalists who do nothing but fill their minds with lies. Countless excuses of why this is happening to them. Even now, Mexican kids are held for ransom, beaten and tortured for money. Women are raped and killed after work at U.S. corporate-owned maquiladora factories, buried in dirt, vomit, and blood. Till this day, Iraqi children are swept out of this world like debris and dust, killed by machines that with taxes we fund, dumped like trash, little bodies turned to ash. Brown mothers have to bury their children with rage in their hearts, spitting words that pierce like darts, imploring Allah to save them from this misery. Like prophecies, they wait for the day when they will be set free. They say that it is in those parts of the world where stars don't shine because they're too busy dodging the exploitability that comes with living in a third world country, the mute voice that comes with being poor and of color, having to grieve in order to make a few extra dollars. From Chiapas to Iraq, we all suffer from a government that doesn't care where our children are at. Innocence is gone, exploited from green eyes that have seen death, from small lungs that run out of breath. From the Gaza Strip to Rwanda, we all walk in a daze, a pretense to avoid what is happening outside of the USA. United we stand to liberate, to dominate, prostituting our souls to stay alive, commercializing warfare as we deprive our children from life. Even now, marketability is more important than humanity. Even now, as we all lay in this evolution.
Babies are born hooked on crack. Babies are born with no soul. The prostitute is vilified. General Hooker was a great man. Who's the one that leaves the dollars on the dresser? We're the leading nation agriculturally, yet we have soup houses and food drives. Children die from the common cold. Cuba is condemned for human rights violations. We can't offer free health care, hypocrites citing an oath. Half the country can't read their children a bedtime story. Vigilante groups hunt Mexicans for sport. The U.S.-Mexico border is a war zone. The U.S.-Canada border, it's a beautiful park. The reservations are worse than the projects, but no one seems to notice. People think the casinos are run by Indians. Lowrider cars and bikes are not considered engineering. My, your English is really good. You don't even have an accent. I smile and reply, yeah, you beat it out of me. College graduates can't get a job because they have a record. Who gets this system? You lock up our men on bullshit charges. When released, they're to become working members of society. We've all come across the question, have you ever convicted a crime? I have no voice. I will not be silenced. I am still angry about Wounded Knee, the Trail of Tears, the illegal annexation of the Southwest, Puerto Rico, the whole Americas for that matter, Salvador Allende, Monseñor Romero, Leonard Peltier, Mumia, Move, La Muchachas de las Maquiladoras, the massacre of the Green Corn Dance of the Pequot people, better known as Thanks-Taking. California alone has more prisons than the United States. There's a budget crisis. Schools are being closed. Eleno and Mendota will soon have new prisons. Our children have no value in life. They kill each other over colors, dirty looks, and territory. That if you break it down, eminent domain overrides it all. Ask the families of Chavez Ravine. Better yet, Dodger Stadium. Slavery still exists in this country. It never went away. Look around. The universities are the new mission system. Instead of Mission Santo whatever, it's CSU or UC money. I'm angry because a person's worth is still measured by the color of their skin and what's between their legs, not by what's in your brain or your heart. I'm angry at the fact that the value of your life depends on whether you're inside or outside the USA, and even then you better not get caught in the dark being dark. In this country, where it's great to be free, roads and houses pop up wherever. No one stops to think about the ecological ramifications of it all. The plants are our source of breath. Without them, pesticides are sprayed on campesinos as if they were the plague that the ranchers are trying to get rid of. Campesinos can't afford the food they pick. Mothers cry themselves to sleep because their breasts are dry. It's more respectful to stand on a corner holding a piece of cardboard than selling oranges or flowers. My mother smells like Clorox. Códice is written on her dry skin. I have a brother stuck in the labyrinth of lies. The other is running the street game. I'm angry that you've got me started and I can't stop this poem from coming. But one thing's for sure, you done gone and pissed the wrong person off.
I yearn for those Mexican evening dreams in the silhouettes woken up por un café con leche. As she tells me from her side of the table, south of the border, stories de ayer, por favor, no te olvides. Así me decía mi abuelita, the storyteller of her nest. The only Mexico I know is from her breast that held my father's tears from working the rest of a 12-hour day. In the field, harvesting American dreams meant to be broken as he dropped the plate, washing dishes with the same river, mojando las espaldas de muchos paisanos. Y mi abuelita todavía susurrando, aquí estaré cuando regreses cocinando un café con leche. Cada mañana que te amanezca la lucha, se plantan las hierbas de Sanjo Orchards y se enlata por las manos de Nonantzin, madre mía, allá en el monte, allá donde vivía largos días, inside metal plates along horseshoe tracks, you followed home west and ho. I'm coming home as grandma pours some for me and blesses me to be in el norte as I lived. Esas historias de ayer, el sur became el norte. Aslan dreams of today en un café con leche.
Reality penetrates my chest like darts, cutting my heartstrings and leaving me with a vision of my poverty-stricken family. Crammed up in an apartment infested with roaches. Roaches in my walls, roaches coming out of my cereal, roaches coming out of my ears. Walls closing in and isolating me to my Chicano reality. Walking 5 blocks, only 5 blocks to reach the American dream, only 5 to get the green. My grandmother pushes her burden, a shopping cart filled with bottles, brown, green, clear. They all reflect the sun's rays onto my grandmother's sweaty face. Her arched back pushes and pushes this cart. The cart so heavy that she has to push with all her might. The silhouette of a melted chocolate bar consumes her body as my 5-year-old imagination sees her disappearing, oblivious to the fact that people stare and react to the situation by feeling pity. Pity for us who have it hard, when my 5-year-old mind cannot comprehend what being poor is like. We pass the 3rd block, where our distorted figures reflect on a tinted window. My grandmother still focused on pushing her burden across and me lagging behind, viewing all this with eager eyes. Abuelita, it's hot. I want to go home and watch cartoons. She stops. She straightens her back. Her arch smile meets my eyes. Mijo, 2 more blocks. Espera, just wait. When I get my check, I'll buy you some cornflakes. Here, let's sit down and rest. Panting, sweltering beads accumulate at the curve of our faces as others become showers that force themselves down our cheeks, to our necks, down our backs, until all I feel is a tiny breeze. My grandmother takes the time to catch her breath. She closes her eyes and dreams, only to find out that 11 years have passed and she's still where she fell asleep. Her grandson grown, embarrassed to admit he is poor. Old and wrinkled, she feels like she can't push no more. 2 more blocks and her American dream is complete. 2 more blocks and her purpose in life is replete. She can't go on, so she passes her card on to me. Who would have thought that my fate would lie at the tip of a beer bottle, or that my paycheck would only come to pay off this degraded struggle? Now look at me. 20 years reflect on my face. I'm only 17. 17, I still can't get past the 3rd block, enslaved, chained to an adult reality that sends us a buried to my youth. I have to help my family make money for food. My blood boils. I can feel my strength pushing through my veins, pulsating and reaching my brain, and I realize that my only wish and my grandmother's only prayer is that I dream until I am old. You see, the struggle is not about the goal. Forget the last 2 blocks. Forget the American dream. We made it this far. We shouldn't worry about anything. My freedom is not found in money. My freedom is found in me. Forget the shopping cart. My spirit will rise only to find my grandmother and I fighting the materialistic lies. My only dream is to have a harmonious life. I won't strive for something I don't need. Reality and happiness lie in me.